Check the red dot. Okay.
Yeah, it has come now. Okay, everyone. Hello and welcome to the Global Bizapps Day. The recent joiners. I am Preeti Pipalia and moderating this session. So today we have Marcin Siewnicki with us to share some knowledge about Microsoft lists in a nutshell. So Marcin is a Microsoft certified solutions expert carrying over 15 years of experience. He's Office 365 consultant and architect at ISCG and an active member of SharePoint community in Poland. He has been extensively working with SharePoint and holds expertise with Office 365, Teams, and Power Platform too. Welcome, Marcin. So before I hand over the session to him, I would like to mention that if you have any questions, please feel free to drop it in the chat window and we'll take it either during the session or during the QA time as the time permits. Thank you again for joining and enjoy the session. Marcin, over to you.
Thank you very much. First person that pronounced my name, my last name correctly, so I'm impressed.
I had researched.
It's not easy. Polish words, Polish names can be quite complicated. Okay, so good morning, good afternoon, good day, everyone. I'm happy to be here with you, and today I will talk about Microsoft List in a nutshell. So what's that? So a quick agenda. First, I will talk what's Microsoft List? Is it something new, old, or why should we care about that? Then we will create our first list, maybe some more than one list. I will show you what's behind that app, behind that list app. Then we'll test or use or try to use lists, Microsoft List in SharePoint Online and Teams. So I will show you how it's integrated with SharePoint and how it works with Teams. Then I will show you what's coming in upcoming few months. So it's a lot of new stuff coming. So it's worth to know what's going on. And at the end, few key takeaways about that list. So I'm already presented. So I'm from Warsaw, from Poland. I'm also one of the organizers of SharePoint Saturday Warsaw. So if you probably will do this event next year, so feel invited. You can reach me on Twitter, on LinkedIn. Okay, but no boring slides. Start showing you a list. So what is Microsoft List? It's beautiful color logo. And Microsoft described List as your smart information tracking app across Microsoft 365. And it's a nice description, but Lists, in my opinion, has a lot more potential than only tracking information across Microsoft 365. It's not only single application for employees, for users to track your information, to save your data. It's much more, and upcoming features change it to really powerful tool. And let's switch to Office, because it's the clue of today's session. So if we go to office.com portal, I will make it a little bigger. Okay. So you can find your lists application in main page. So it's lists. If I go there, so new dedicated homepage for all of my lists appears, and there's a few favorites lists and lists with my recent lists or only my lists. So you start with your list homepage. It's quite easy to navigate and to find your list. And what we hear, if I click some list, maybe this one. Okay, and this is Microsoft List with some data formatting. So it's fully working. And as you can see, there's almost no navigation. no left-hand navigation, no only some top bar buttons. So we have full space for data and to work with our list. And it looks, if you are familiar with SharePoint online or on-prem, it's quite similar to SharePoint list, but the formatting is different. The data looks much better, a lot more spaces, more colors. For me, it's more human-friendly than classic SharePoint list, but it's okay. It shows similar data. And what we can do here, we can of course sort, filter. We have a lot of filters, a lot of track is. So I can select one category. It will filter my list. Clear all. Okay. So it looks easy. I can of course add new. Okay. Add new item to my collection with some, of course, a speaker. Oh, come on. Quickly add some item. Today track. That's it, and the item appears here. So you can quickly add your items to the list. So you can store a lot of data, sort, filter, etc. But let's go back to homepage and let's create a new list, because there's a lot of interesting stuff when we want to create a new list. So we start with 4 options. We can create blank list. If we create blank list, it's only list with title, and we must provide create all columns or fields that we need. Then we can use Excel file as a place, as a source for our columns and data. It's great if we want to move our Excel file with data to list, and we don't want to do it manually. It's a great option to make it quick and easy process. And we can use existing list if we want to make a copy or use similar list. So using existing list, we will create a copy with all of formatting options, columns, fields, etc., and views. And it's very cool, we can use templates for our list. So we have currently 8. In Teams, I found 1 additional template. So there are 8 templates. If I click, let's say, issue tracker. Okay, so it's template with fields, with some formatting applied. I can easily switch and check. This one is nice, asset manager. There's also a device photo, so the photos will be visible on my list. So that's cool. As you can see, it's a lot of columns, a lot of fields with some of them formatting. So it looks quite nice. So I will use that one. Asset manager. Let's say I have any icons. Okay, so I can quickly create. I can add let's say some icon and color for that icon and create. That's it. My list will appear and it's here. Good. Of course, it's empty. There's no data inside, so I must provide I must enter my data. But I can do this using this plus button, asset tag. Say asset 1, some photo. Oh, that's I use power ups. Maybe not. I will use some. Oh, I don't have any icon. I have here some beautiful image. Oh, this one. And I save that one. Oh, as you can make it bigger. You can see if I add any image to my item, the thumbnail will appear on list view. So it's cool. I don't need to go to my item to check the photo. I can see it directly on the list view. And if I go to my item, there's I can edit it, view or add more items. So that works pretty good. But we have also views. So this is the basic view. By default, we get compact list view. So it's more. I will show you my existing list because I have more data here. Oh, with this one. So all items. So displays all items with formatting applied. Compact list, make it remove unnecessary spaces between items. And gallery. Gallery is a special view designed for item for lists when we store images, pictures, because it shows a nice card for our item with picture at the top and additional information below. So it's nice to use for product list, for product, for some images list when we store images, or also additional to our classic list with speaker photo, people photo, etc. And this view comes by default, so we don't need to configure anything. We start with those three views. Of course, we can create or modify those views, but we start with those three. Additional views will come, but we start with three, so that's great. But what about that fancy colors, fancy icons? So I think that's the most important thing in lists, because we can easily create and apply formatting options, and we don't need to code anything. We don't need to write a single line of code for that, or go to advanced options. So each column, if I go, let's say for track, has column settings and format these column options. So that's pretty cool, because I can do every single operation directly from my list view. I don't need to go to options, and it depends on the column data, column type. I will get available formatting options. So for this, I can background colors, so format colors. I can use choice fields or conditional formatting. So I have three options here. So background, so it will make my background a specific color based on my options. Choice fields, so this automatically create nice color around the name. And conditional formatting, so I must provide some create a condition. Let's say if track is equal to dynamic CRM, then I will make it this one. Okay, done. And if there's a dynamic CRM in that specific field, it will make that color background of that field in this dark orange. So we can quickly apply formatting. And if I go to, let's say, text column, only text and format, so I have only conditional formatting. So the formatting option depends on data type that we can store inside our column. Yes, but that's not all. So I can create formatting options for fields. So this field is formatted, this column is formatted that way, other can be formatted another way. But I can also go to my right top option and click all items, and I have option format current view. So I can format entire list view, and I have start with two options: alternating rows. So the odd rows will be formatted in grayscale, or I can use similar conditional formatting, but this time it will format entire row. So if I select, let's say, track, the same dynamic CRM, and this time I will color it for green. Save. So each row with dynamic CRM as a track will be formatted, will be colored as green row. But that's not all. If I switch to my gallery view with nice tiles, with nice cards, I can, of course, format this view, and it's really great. Format this view. So we have this card designer here. If I click that, I can select what we will show, what we will see in each card. So I can hide logo, of course, but it's gallery, so it's good to see our logo. Let's say link is not required. Track, maybe session name. Save. And that's all. So I can very quickly customize my gallery view and to display required information. But of course, if I click on that item, I will get the form with advanced information, all information in my form. But there's of course option for power users or users that required more formatting options. And we can always, if I go and let's say format, yeah. Yes, this is switched. Oh, and yeah, and there's one more formatting option. If we store numbers in our column, there's data bars. It's automatically show data bars, but there's better data bars for our numeric values. But if I have, if you have, more complicated requirements, and you want to format items more with advanced features, so you can click advanced mode at the right bottom of the page. You can see advanced mode, and we get the JSON window for JSON formatting. But you must be familiar with JSON formatting options for lists. It works the same way like in SharePoint Online, so it's nothing new. But there's a great page. I will show you that, share you that link with you. And where's that link? Where is my link? And this is it. There's very great PNP on PNP samples. Great repository for column and for view samples. If I go to column samples, there's a lot of samples. So if I go and say number, this one, this, okay, and make it bigger, of course. Numeric gauge JSON, so I can go there, copy entire code, go back to my list, type it here, save, and I get back my fancy gauge icons. So it's good if you want to start with advanced formatting. It's good to, and you are not familiar with JSON formatting options for SharePoint list or Microsoft list. It's a great idea to go to that page, go through samples, try those samples, modify them, and if you need more, you can of course check Microsoft documentation for that. But those samples, I think, are fantastic, and you can get a lot of great ideas how to format your items, but also how to format your where is that? How to format your view, because it works the same way. So you can format your views with some advanced options with buttons on your cards, etc. Great source. Okay, so I type it in chat, not to forget about that. So we have advanced formatting options based on JSON formatting. It's good. It's very good, because if we need advanced formatting options, we can do that, and our list will look well, not like Microsoft list by default, but can look like advanced application. And the JSON advanced formatting options apply to columns and also to views. So we have full flexibility to format our list. So this is our list. I can add more data. I can, of course, export data to Excel. And you have two more options, Power Apps and Automate. So if you're familiar with Power Apps and Automate, you can enhance your Microsoft list with Power Apps. Power Apps is here for, because if we start our list, it will, a new form is not so good looking form, I must say. But you can edit this form using Power Apps. So you can create fancy advanced Power App form for that item, for that list. And of course, you can create some automation. You can set a reminder by time column, but you can create also any Power Automate flow you need for that specific list. So you have a lot of options to make it more advanced, to automate that, to create advanced forms for your list. So a lot of options, but you can start with simple form if there's no need for advanced features. Okay, so that's lists. If I go back to my Microsoft lists, I can create new ones, add more. But there's one thing. If I go and create new blank, there's option where I want to save my list. And it's quite important because by default, we start with my list. So it's my list. It's really important because if you create your list, it will be stored only for you. You want, by default, it's not shared with anyone. It doesn't require SharePoint Online. That's important, but it's your. But you can, of course, create your new list and save it in any existing SharePoint Online site or team or SharePoint site for Teams. And that we are going to the clue because Microsoft list is are based on SharePoint Online list. So it's SharePoint Online list, but with advanced formatting options and advanced view options. So that's the difference. But it's SharePoint list. And if I go, this is my test list. If you check my URL address, it's lists, contents, scheduler here. So it's create a list in my personal OneDrive for business. There also all your lists or your personal lists will be stored in your OneDrive. So those lists are simply yours. If you want to share that list, okay, you can share it, but by default, they are yours. So you don't need to ask anyone to access to SharePoint Online. You can create your list without any SharePoint sites. That's very cool because we don't need to ask IT, ask other owners of SharePoint. If I need something, if I need to store some data, create a tracker, maybe some product tracker, I can go create my own list, and that's it. It's my list. I manage it. I can manage it, modify, create fancy customizations, fancy formatting. But because it's SharePoint list, if I go there and click list settings, I get full options for like in regular SharePoint list. So I have even more options to customize that list, create maybe content types, etc. Because we have no classic SharePoint list behind it. So there's a lot of options like in regular SharePoint list. So for end user, because it's very simple and you can create good looking lists very quickly. But if there's need to advanced automation, advanced formatting options, form or content types, you can do it as well. So that's for a quick overview. What is a list? So we have a home for our list. It's dedicated app, but with dedicated homepage for lists and favorites lists. If you want to create a new list, you can use empty list from. You must create your list from scratch. You can use Excel file, and based on that Excel, you will create your list. You can use existing list from SharePoint Online, from Teams, or from your lists. And you can use templates. Currently, you can't create your own template, but it should be added in some time, because it's, well, for me, it's obvious to get templates, to create your own templates. And all your lists are automatically saved in your OneDrive for Business. So you have full control over those lists. And for formatting options, you can format columns with conditional formatting. You can format background, so change background color based on some rules. You can create for choice columns. You can format as a choice fields, data from data bars, and advanced if you want to make it more good looking or add more options to your columns. You can use advanced formatting it based on JSON. And for views, you can use alternating rows to format odd rows. You can use conditional formatting as well. And there's, of course, dedicated formatting options for gallery view, so you can format data cards. And of course, for view, there's advanced options. So advanced are available in every type of formatting. Okay. And there's this URL to this great store for formatting samples. Okay, so what about SharePoint? SharePoint Online, but there's one more options. I will show you that, because it's also great, and I forget about that one. If you want to create a new column, you can do this directly from your list. But if you select choice, you will get the option to format your choices by default. So you don't need to create choice column and provide values and then apply formatting. You can use it automatically formatted from 5, 6, 7, and it's by default will get colors. You can modify that color, so it's great because less things to do when you create your list. Okay, but what about that SharePoint? As I said, Microsoft list based on SharePoint Online lists. That's good, but so what's with that SharePoint? I go back to my SharePoint list, and this sessions list. Well, it's a list built on SharePoint Online. Well, in fact, in Teams, but it's SharePoint Online. So if I go to my SharePoint page behind that list, it's classic SharePoint site with web parts. I can remove web parts, add web parts, whatever I want. That's it. But if I go to site content, so I have left-hand navigation, of course, and I want to create a new list, boom, I will get currently the same new experience as in Microsoft List. So what does it mean? For me, it's great news, because we get the same features and functionalities like in Microsoft List. So we can create a blank list from Excel, from existing, or use templates. So that's really great. But that's not all. If I go to that issue tracker, or maybe something content scheduler, and create that one without any data. I don't need data. So if I go and create a new item, say test, maybe this one, enough. So as you can see, there's also formatting options, and formatting options are the same as in Microsoft List. So it shares the same formatting model. So that's really good, because there's only one formatting option for entire Microsoft 365 list. That's good. And we have also the format view, same as in Microsoft lists. And if I go to my views, there's also a gallery view by default, so I can switch to gallery. I can add a picture. Someone made some noise background. Okay, so pretty cool. So the SharePoint shares the same look and feel as Microsoft List, but because it's SharePoint, we have left-hand navigation, so we can make it more easy to navigate on our site. But so we can use the SharePoint Microsoft List formatting options in SharePoint Online. So first, it's good looking and easy to create, and the second part is that it's consistent across SharePoint and Microsoft List. So it doesn't matter when we create our list in SharePoint, in lists, it can look the same way. And that's not all. Because if I go to my sessions, okay, the URL address is classic list, so it's list sessions all items.ispx. But if I go back to my lists, switch back. Oh, so with this list view, when I don't have any left-hand navigation, you can find that there's a web view list parameter in the URL. So if I get and copy that parameter and go back to my SharePoint and add that parameter here, so I will get the same view as Microsoft Lists without left-hand menu, but directly inside my SharePoint. Cool. So if you want to present information for your users, for your employees, colleagues, in that way without left-hand navigation, you can use that view, add that parameter. But there's one more thing. If I go to documents, I uploaded some documents. So as you can see, same formatting options for document libraries. So that's really cool. I have also tiles, of course, not galleries. But I can go here and format this column, and there are the same formatting options like in Microsoft List and SharePoint Online List. So that's really cool. But if I add that parameter to my document library, I will get my document library in that fancy new lists style without any left-hand navigation and with cool looking design. So you can so it's kind of maybe not hack, but small workaround for existing SharePoint Online lists and document libraries to make it look better and to remove your left-hand navigation if it's an issue. Because there are some situations where we have a lot of data and a lot of columns on one view, and left-hand navigation could be removed to work with larger screen, larger view for our list. But what's fun, it also works for document libraries, so it's a very nice feature. So for SharePoint Online, we have the same features, same formatting options, same look and feel like for Microsoft Lists. Whenever we use it, if it's classical old list, we can format it. If we want to switch to modern view, Microsoft List view without any left-hand navigation, we can add that parameter. So we have a lot of options, and the look and feel will be consistent between SharePoint Online and Microsoft Lists. And it works for libraries, so it's really good. And I love that idea because libraries, we often work with libraries, and formatting options are really good idea to make it easier to find your document, or if you work with metadata, it's a great option to present your documents with some easier way to not only play flat list, huge list with documents with a lot of text. That about SharePoint Online. About SharePoint, and the last part is Microsoft Teams, because Microsoft Lists integrates with Microsoft Teams. And to show you that, I must open Teams. Where's my Teams? Okay. So first, there's a dedicated application for Teams that work that's for Microsoft Lists, and that application you can use that application as a tab for your in your channel. So if I go, let's say this one, maybe there's no list. Add a tab, and there's a list, but you can search it if you didn't use it before. Okay, save. And we can use existing list as a template for our new list, or we can create it from scratch, and same look and feel, same features. We can create blank list from Excel or from templates. Great. I would start with maybe Asset Manager and use that template. Change color, change icon maybe for that one. And that's it. We get Microsoft List in our Teams without any left navigation, without any additional navigation artifacts. So it's full list. If I need to, I can enlarge it to full Teams view. And if I want to add item, the form is displayed on entire screen. Say asset #1, and that's enough. Okay, I maybe add one picture here. Got the same car. Okay, good. And what's the same? Of course, the formatting options are the same. So you can create choice fields, formatting, conditional formatting, background colors, etc. So it works the same way. It's cool. I can switch. I have the same type of views. So list, compact, and gallery by default. So it will show. My items gallery view. I can use advanced formatting here as well. So it's cool. And for me, the most important thing for Teams and Microsoft List is that I can use list in Teams. I think that for first time in a way that it's productive, because before, if we have some navigation items, navigation artifacts from SharePoint Online, it's some problem. It wasn't easy to work with large lists with a large part of data, and now I have full view for work, and it's easy to create formatting options, and now I can use SharePoint list inside my Teams. And what's important, if I create a list inside, I created in, make it bigger, in this M3 channel, there's option to open that list in SharePoint. So by default, each Microsoft list created in Teams will be saved in that specific team. So this one is planning, so that's correct. So all lists that you will create in this app will be stored as a classic SharePoint list behind the Teams, but for end user, for you, it will be as Microsoft list in this dedicated app. So that's cool. Okay, some time left. So we have dedicated app for Teams, and what's important, it works only for tabs. There's no personal application for Teams. There's only for tabs. and you must and all yes, and the same look and feel like for Microsoft List and SharePoint Online. So it's good, consistent view across all places when you can store lists, and good looking with advanced formatting. And all data or lists created in that application are stored by default in SharePoint Online behind that specific team. So if I create a list in my communication, it will be stored in communication SharePoint site. Okay, so that's all I think from demo perspective. You can easily create a lot of good looking lists. But what next? First, upcoming iOS version, iOS application for your list. So you'll get an additional application that you can use with Microsoft 365, but this one will be dedicated to lists. So you can create your list, new list, work with your existing list, etc. So that's good and really cool. Offline mode. Offline mode is coming to lists. So if you download or load your data, your list, and lost connection, you can get and work with your list without access to internet. That's good, but that was good if you were traveling a lot. But now it's also good because sometimes offline happens. Undo and redo, so you can go back. So if you make some mistake, you can go back and fix that mistake. That's great. Better forms, yes. Currently, we start with, as I showed you, with very basic forms. If you want to change that, you must use Power Apps to do that, and it's not always a good idea to use Power Apps to modify SharePoint forms, because it's sometimes too heavy or too many customization required. So we will get some more features for our forms out of the box. Footer, header will be available, and some more. So it should be available this calendar year. And yes, calendar view is coming to lists. So we will get, because currently we have only list, compact list, and gallery. And calendar view will be available next month, or definitely this year. Rules, yes. Currently we don't have any rules. And if you watch some Microsoft lists videos on some conferences, so Microsoft showed that there will be rules. So you will be able to configure rule. So if one item has some specific data in, let's say, choice column, some rule will be applied. Let's say mail will be sent or something like that. So some kind of automation behind that. But with easier way than using Power Automate. So there will be dedicated, very easy rule designer directly from your Microsoft list view. And the last one, mentions. So you will be able to create comments for your item and add and mention someone, like in Outlook, like in Word, Excel, or Teams. So that mentioned person will get some notification and can get quickly to that item and check your comments, etc. So that's what's coming. And I think that's not all, because definitely there's coming a new engine behind lists that will allows us to work with large, very large list, and with good performance. And yeah, I think that's more come next year. So yeah, check that Microsoft 365 roadmap, because I hope there will be a lot of news next year. And I'm waiting definitely for templates, for creating my own templates and share that with my colleagues. So what about at least some few key takeaways? First, well, lists for everyone. That's very cool. because I mostly work I have admin access for almost all of my tenants. But now every single person in organization can create their own list without any additional, IT support, and that's cool because very often we need to create something, quick list with products, with something else, maybe some with issues for some projects, for whatever we need, and we can use Excel for that, but it's hard to share that data. Or if you want to use SharePoint, it wasn't easy because we get access from find a SharePoint site, get access, maybe work with IT to get that access, and you had to know that SharePoint Online capabilities, features, how to create list format. It wasn't easy. Now everyone can create list from scratch, from Excel, from template very quickly. Formatting options are very easy to use, but there's of course advanced options, but it's list for everyone. And what's more important, I think, it affects standard SharePoint Online lists. So we have consistent views across entire Microsoft 365. That's very good. Very good. We don't need to know. We don't need different look and feels in different products when we use the same feature. Works for libraries. That's nice. It's the same formatting options, and you can also use this little workaround to get this without left-hand menu. And list in Teams makes sense. Yes, for me, I work mostly in Teams. I try to put all my stuff inside Teams and to use Teams as a platform. So I can now use lists in Teams without any additional navigation artifacts. So that's great for me. And of course, the same formatting options. So the same consistent views across all my services in Microsoft 365. And last one, continuous improvement. So I think that if you work with Teams or any other Microsoft 365 services, it's continuous improvement every month. A lot of features coming, and the roadmaps are full of ideas, and you can create your own idea, and if it get a lot of voices, it will be introduced in that product in Microsoft lists. Okay, so that's all from my side. If you have any questions, please type them.
We don't have any queries in chat window. So guys, please unmute yourself and ask your queries if you have any.
If nobody is asking, I can ask because I really don't know much about lists or teams and things like that, because I'm from a different domain. But it was really good to know a lot of things. Marcin, thanks for sharing that. The major question I get when I go in front of clients, and obviously because I don't have knowledge towards that side of Bizapps, is the difference between SharePoint and lists. So that's where I'm like, I don't know. So if you can probably in 2 lines explain it to us.
Well, Microsoft List is in fact SharePoint Online list. It's the same, but for personal use, it's stored in your OneDrive. So you don't need SharePoint Online site. So you create your list and don't need to touch SharePoint, from technical perspective. So you create list and work with list. If you need to work with advanced options, you must go to, you should probably create a SharePoint site or work with SharePoint list options. But by default, you can easily create a list without any SharePoint site. But behind the scene, it's the same.
Okay, thank you.
In fact,
that was precise.
SharePoint Online is for masses.
Okay, I see no more questions coming up, and we are before time.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. So
Yeah.
10 minutes to prepare for next session. So I think it's okay.
Sure, definitely, no problem. So
Okay.
thank you so much, Marcin, for joining us and sharing your knowledge with us. And thank you for joining everyone. Champs, stay tuned, and we are having one more interesting session. So stay tuned.
Yep.
Thank you, Marcin.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys.
Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcin.